Hi everybody, I am Ray Gauthier and welcome to another edition of my Daily Walkabout. This particular walkabout is a little different because I'm actually recording this in the morning. It's probably close to 5 a.m. I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, pretty close to downtown. I can see the skyline, I can see the skyscrapers from where I am. I'm making a delivery to a kind of not a small distribution warehouse, but it is a well-known carrier in the Vancouver, Burnaby, Lower Mainland area that provides produce to a lot of restaurants. And that's what I'm bringing in, a whole lot of produce. Bell peppers, tomatoes, and other mixed vegetables. And unfortunately, I had to make this delivery into Vancouver, which is never a good thing if you're showing up during the day. You want to show up as early as possible, or you want to show up the night before. And I did find a nice parking area that they've just recently built, not that long ago, maybe last year, the year before, which provides a lot of truck parking along Highway 17 in Surrey. That's where I parked it last night, got up this morning at 4, made my way in to avoid all the traffic. I didn't have any issue with traffic, which was nice. And I managed to find somewhat a decent place to park. And the sun's not even up yet, but the birds are. I can hear them singing their tune. They don't know any better to keep sleeping and like, hey, the sun's not up, you guys, go back to sleep. So we're just off of Hastings Street, and if you go a little further up, not much further, you're going to find a very, very unfortunate situation where there are so many homeless people along Hastings before you get into the downtown core. Probably like you've never seen before. Just lots of homeless people out on the street there. And it's very, very sad. And again, I wonder how many churches in the Lower Mainland have a little task force to reach out to these people. I don't really know, but it is kind of sad. So I really can't check in probably until 8 o'clock in the morning. So I got a few hours. So I figured I would do my Daily Walkabout this morning. I was going to do it last night, but it was just raining too hard. Today it's not too bad. It's still raining, but very light. Excuse me, nothing to be concerned about. Fortunately, I'm a morning person. Don't you hate those people in the morning? Good morning. You're like, get out of here. I need my coffee. Fortunately, I'm not the grumpy one. I'm a relatively cheerful morning person. You know, one time I was married for 5 years. And earlier in my day, I probably wasn't as cheerful in the morning as I am now. I'll tell you something, that would make someone a good husband. I would be the person to get up in the morning, make coffee, make breakfast, bring it right to my girl in bed. That's the kind of person I am. And I'm the one that ends up single. That's so funny. Anyway, it doesn't matter. In God's good time. In God's good time. If that ever happens again, if I'm ever blessed to be married again. But you know what? I'll tell you. I'd rather be the best possible man I could be when I have that chance to be blessed or to bless somebody else as well in a relationship. And I guess that's kind of leading on to what I wanted to talk about today. And the title is Cherish Your Spouse. Cherish your spouse. And I guess one of the reasons, and you might think, well, what qualifies you to talk about this? You're a single guy. Well, I was married at one time. Unfortunately, the marriage broke up. The wife wanted to pursue other things. And then I ended up raising my 3 kids for 17 years as a single father. And you know what? Even during that time, I wasn't seeking a relationship because you're just too busy. When you're raising 3 kids on your own, what time do you have for somebody else? You just don't. But I figure what qualifies me to talk about this is because during this entire time of being single, since 1997, I mean, I've had some relationships along the way. 2 of them that I thought there was going to be a marriage. Just didn't work out. But it really makes you think, what would I do differently if I was married? What would I do differently? So much. You don't appreciate the situation until it's gone. You know that old saying. You just don't know what you got until it's gone. Well, I do hear stories, obviously in this industry, of men not getting along with their women or even being unfaithful to them to satisfy their own needs, which is kind of sad. If you give your vow, if you give that vow rather to another, that's for life. In God's eyes, that's for life. Regardless if you believe in God or not, the Bible tells us if we are intimate, and I'm being very straightforward with this, if we are intimate with another, we've betrothed ourselves to them. In some countries, and back in the day, in Bible days, if you slept with another, male or female, you've literally betrothed yourself to that person. In God's eyes. Excuse me. So, when you're single, you kind of want to avoid that. You try to anyway, you know, with this world that we live in now. And, you know, this saying, well, everyone's doing it. And when I hear drivers or anybody telling me about these little adventures they've had, or they're looking at inappropriate material online. When a guy who's married, or a gal, turns on XXX movies and watches it while they're married, that is a betrayal to their spouse. That's adultery in their heart. Not only against their spouse, but against those who you're watching. If you have committed adultery in your heart, with lust in your heart, it's the same thing. There's no difference. And that is very damaging to a relationship. Well, let me get to the meat and potatoes. Being single for as long as I have, the last relationship I had it ended right around COVID. It was a decent moment in my life, but I spent a lot of time on the road. I wasn't ready to come off the road, and she desperately needed somebody at home. You could just tell. And I just felt I had to let her go. And it was a good thing I did, because after almost 3 years of relationship and being engaged, I called her 6 months after we broke up to let her know I was thinking of her, that I missed her. And she had already been married. She was married. Within 6 months, she met a person, she got engaged, she got married, went on a honeymoon, and came back in 6 months. That was that was discouraging. I'm like, are you serious? I am like, get this, okay? It has been a few years now. It's been 5 years, 5 or 4 years since we broke up. I don't even know when COVID ended. And I still haven't dated anybody. Just because, it did take me some time to get over the last relationship. I had to mourn the loss of that relationship. When you spend 3 years with somebody, there's a bonding there. And it took me a long time to get over that. I wondered if I made the right decision by breaking it off. I mean, I would have a lovely wife right now. I'd have a home. I'd have a place to come home to. But when you think about it, and you realize that the person that you were almost betrothed to was married inside of 6 months after you broke up with her, maybe it was not the right choice, because if I'm going to marry somebody, I want that person to be devoted to me and not just looking for a husband. And obviously that was the situation that I was in back then. But that's okay, that's fine. I don't condemn her for that. She wanted a man in her life. She found a man. And I'm happy for her. I always wonder if that relationship is as solid as it could be if you would get to know the person first. But I guess the reason why I'm doing this walkabout, how many people, or let me talk to you if you're married, or maybe you're single and you've been married. How many of us out there totally take for granted when we were married the blessing it is to have somebody in your life? I always think about this. How nice it is to be able to know that somebody loves you. Somebody's thinking of you. Maybe during a special occasion, that person's out buying you a gift. Or during the holiday, during Christmas, when I did celebrate it, where you'd go out and you'd buy holiday gifts for your loved one, your girl. How exciting that was. And knowing that they were doing the same thing for you. Just knowing that you're loved by another person. Knowing that another person is thinking of you. Even when they wake up. When they go to bed. That you are on their mind. That's a wonderful blessing. And how many of us out there who have that don't appreciate it, don't take advantage of that? What do I mean by taking advantage of that? If you don't hear from your loved one as much as you would like, then you make that move. Call them. Let them know that you love them. Let them know that you care. This is really bizarre. I don't understand this. But when I was dating or even engaged, I always made efforts to bring something home or to take my girl out spontaneously. She wouldn't expect it. And to see her face light up the way that it would, and how excited she got when I would call her and say, guess what? I'm giving you an hour. Put something nice on. You know, maybe you're already wearing something nice, but get ready. I'm taking you to dinner. And then I would pick her up with flowers, you know, even putting some cologne on so I smelled presentable. That goes a long way when a girl smells some nice cologne on you. Or if you're a gal and your guy smells nice perfume in you, they know that you put that cologne or that perfume on to impress them. It goes a long way. I hear so many stories. I talk to so many different guys who have wives. And their wives come up in the topic, and I'm like, well, so why don't you're gonna give her some flowers? You know, maybe it's some occasion, something happened. Maybe it's their birthday, or maybe they did something special, or they worked extra hard at a dinner party that you guys were hosting. Or you just want to come home one day and just give her flowers to tell her I love you. I've actually suggested that to some friends. And they're like, well. They actually hummed and hawed. Hummed and hawed. And I'm like, wow. You have any idea how lucky you are to have someone in your life that loves you? It's a blessing. It is an absolute blessing. It just blows me away. So let me encourage you. If you're married, even if you're engaged or you're dating and it could lead to a marriage, be a little bit more spontaneous. Surprise her. Bring her something. Flowers, chocolates, bring her a coffee. You know, maybe she's at work and you just happen to be off for a little bit, or you're going by or whatever, and you're in the area. Why not surprise her with something like that and just put a total smile on her face? Make her the envy of everybody in her office. Well, who is that? Oh, that was my man. What did he want? Oh, he brought me a coffee. My favorite, or he bought me a vanilla or a Starbucks. Oh, that was awesome. You know you're going to be the envy of everybody in your office, because it's really rare that men do this. You know, a guy will do whatever he can to impress the woman before he marries her, and I'm sure girls do the same. But once they're married, well, I don't need to do that stuff anymore. I already have her or him. But you know what? Keep doing it. Surprise your spouse. Do special things to let them know how much you care about them, how much they mean to you, how your life would be totally upside down without them. You could end up alone in a situation where you're like, if I would have only done things differently. I really strongly believe that spicing up a relationship, especially a marriage, even when you've been married 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, there's nothing wrong surprising your spouse with something very, very special. Whether it's a simple hug, kiss, a rose, bring them home something that they like, let them know they're appreciated. It goes a long way. Goes a long way. And I'll tell you something. If I am ever blessed enough to be married again, I know that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've had a lot of time to think about what I would do differently if I got married. And you know what? I probably wouldn't do a whole lot different that I've done when I was dating or engaged, courting. Because I just generally like to let the girl know she's special, that she's the only one on my mind, she's the only one I'm thinking about, and I'm talking about women. And what I mean by that is, some might say, well, shouldn't you have God on your mind more? Yes. Yes. God is on my mind all the time. But I'm talking about women out there that could possibly attract me or interest me. That is not an option when you are with somebody. You shouldn't even be looking at another woman. Oh, just admiring God's handiwork. Well, you shouldn't be looking at her if you are with somebody else. If you're serious, if you're in a relationship, if you're married or you're engaged, dating, well, obviously if you're dating, you're still looking. But if you're engaged or if you're married, looking at other women, whether it's walking down the street and admiring somebody walking by you, whether it's on TV, in a magazine, or on a video, you shouldn't be doing that. It's a total betrayal to them. It is. It's a betrayal. And if you're looking at other material like that, then maybe you're not as interested as you think you are in that person. Because if you're still looking for some kind of gratification, then obviously maybe you need to reevaluate that relationship. But if there is something in your heart that troubles you, maybe you've had an issue, say, with pornographic material, and it's more of a habit. Well, what a better excuse to get rid of it than I don't want to betray my girl or my guy. Turn it off. Set it on your phone or your computer that restricted sites are unavailable on your computer. And if you don't trust yourself, get someone you love, an accountability sister or brother, and get them to put the password in so you can't access it. Because if you're in a relationship and it's solid, and that girl loves you or that guy loves you, how devastating that is to the other person if they know that you're looking at that. I'm not going to mention anything, any names. I was in a relationship once, and she wanted me to come over and visit, but I was really tired that day. I just wanted to relax. And we were having some struggles, and I wanted to let's just say this, I was acting very needy, really clingy to her. And that was the night where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a man. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to show her that I can deal with this stuff on my own. And she was disappointed that I didn't come over. But I thought maybe this was a good thing. She'll see that I'm strong. I hung up my phone, or should I say I put my phone down because I assumed she hung up. And then I went about my business, and all of a sudden I heard some really strange noises coming from my phone. I'm like, what is that? And I picked up the phone and I listened, and I could hear on the other end some unusual sounds that you'd probably hear on a XXX video. She was watching something. And my heart sunk to the floor. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It literally felt like she was cheating on me. That is how your spouse or your fiance would probably feel if they knew that you were looking at that. Because that literally makes you feel like, well, obviously I'm not enough, you're looking at this. And if you're looking at that stuff, what else are you doing? If the relationship is solid, if there's a solid foundation, pornographic material can easily destroy a relationship, whether an engagement or a marriage. I personally felt I was betrayed. Felt like I was being cheated on. So friends, let me tell you, stay away from that stuff. If you've had a problem with it in the past, go get prayer. Put restrictions on your phone or your computers. Make the move. Don't risk losing that special person because of a selfish gratification. It's not worth it. And besides, that very special person in your life, put that attention towards them. Go buy them something nice. Send them a card. Read out of the blue. You could be a driver. I've done this. I don't remember what town I was in, but I remember I was on the road. And I decided to send my girl, Wendy, who I was engaged with, I just sent her flowers. I just called up a florist, and I made arrangements to send her flowers spontaneously in the middle of the day when it was the weekend. She was so happy with that. She was shocked. She was taking pictures. Her kids, she had two beautiful daughters, and they were really surprised. Do something like that. Oh man, it is amazing. It'll also get you out of the doghouse really fast. If you've done something you shouldn't have done, maybe you had a little argument or something, but no, you don't want to be buttering anybody up like that. But I guess I'll wrap it up here. The bottom line is, cherish your spouse. Let them know how much you love them. Let them know how much they mean to you. Let them know that they're on your mind and that they're the only one for you. A simple, spontaneous text during the day, thinking of you, whatever, and then other things. And make sure, obviously, you spend the time with them you need to. If you're a driver out on the road, or your job takes you different places, you may want to think about whether or not this person that you are going to marry is okay with all that, or if that's going to be a stumbling block. Lots of things to evaluate. But for today, why not send that special person something amazing? Maybe a message, maybe some flowers. Make their day today. Let them know that, boy, did I ever marry or get engaged to the right person. And they're all mine. Anyway, friends, that's all I have for you. Until our next Daily Walkabout, blessings in the name of Yeshua. Bye for now.